You know, I was just reading a pastoral letter from the Archbishop of Scotland, who went to Romania and checked up on the work that Daniel O'Donnell's people were doing, and also investigated some of the areas that had not been helped. I think, you know, anybody who is interested in the welfare of children should read this letter. It's terrifying. It's terrifying what they're doing to those kids. So, you know, if you have an opportunity to help Daniel O'Donnell in that effort to right the wrongs that have been done to innocent children in Romania, then probably a pretty good thing to do. Or if you know of any closer to home, right those wrongs too. You know, like Daniel said, we can't do everything about everything, but you can do something about one thing. And I think we also probably should pick one thing and do something about it, okay? That's enough. I'm done. All right. Every once in a while, the boss will come in and say, now, don't get on your high horse so much. Well, you know, occasionally you have to do it, folks. You just have to do it. All right. Here are the thank you gifts for Daniel O'Donnell, the encore concert from Branson. These are the highlights of a 4-hour live show that was done from Branson, Missouri. I believe it was done by WTBS in Detroit and fed to all PBS. We had it. And then they would call the stations, or the stations would call Detroit and give them reports. I think that before the night was over, we had done better than the originating station. So thanks to all of you viewers who called in for the highlights concert. But this is the encore concert, and it's the actual highlights of that big 4-hour extravaganza that Daniel put on from Branson. The CD, and this is the CD from the highlights concert, the one that was 4 hours long. This is the CD of that at the $70 level. The Encore VHS or DVD is at the $80 level, and I really suggest this to you quite simply because it has some things on it that I haven't seen before. For example, a really long and personal interview with Daniel O'Donnell. He touches on a lot of things that he didn't even talk on here at the station with me. They also take a tour of his home. And as I was saying, I've got a pile of information here on Daniel O'Donnell and pictures and a whole lot of stuff. Not a picture of the inside of his house. But you're going to have a tour if you get the VHS or the DVD. Okay, the 2-CD set from this concert is at the $90 level. It includes 8 additional songs. Our House is a Home, a medley of about 3 songs. The Last Thing on My Mind with Mary, Make the World Go Away, which is a great song. Just Someone I Used to Know, another duet with Mary. Lose Sight of Lonesome, He'll Have to Go in My Shoes, Keep Walking Back to You. Those are the extra songs at the $90 level. At the $200 level, it's everything. I mean, if you're a Daniel O'Donnell fan, you are going to be a happy person. And if you know a Daniel O'Donnell fan and you want to give this as a present for any occasion, if you were to give the highlights CD plus the 2-CD set from this concert plus the VHS or DVD from this concert, you'd be the hero of the year. 1-800-443-1999. Give us a call. And you'd be supporting public television. Don't forget that.
You know, sometimes I think we don't even realize what great variety there is on public television, on KCTS. I sat down and made a little list of the programs that I like, and maybe some of these will resonate with you. Now with Bill Moyers, Frontline, Charlie Rose, great performances, Masterpiece Theater, Mystery. They did a new Prime Suspect not long ago that was really good. And then the kids programs, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, Reading Rainbow, just all kinds of great things for kids. And if you think about all the documentaries that are made just for public television, jazz, New York, baseball, the Civil War, the science programs, Nova, Scientific American, Nature. And then there are the other fun things like Antiques Roadshow. Think of all the programs that you value that are on public television and that you see here on KCTS. It's time to support that because you are the most important means of support for KCTS. So call tonight, become a member, 1-800-443-1999.
So Gene's talking about the wide range of programming on KCTS. I want to focus just a moment, particularly for those of you who are either parents or grandparents. And it's about what KCTS does for kids. I'll tell you what, when you have one of these, you can't really see Jack all that well, but I'll tell you what, this is our grandchild. And one of the reasons we're here supporting KCTS, and we want you to, is because of the kind of programming that is needed for this kind of kid, any child. You know, there's lots of children's programming on television, but lots of times they watch the commercials as well, but not on KCTS. Do you know that your money, when you call and become a member, develops the kinds of programming that you remember Mr. Rogers, you remember Teletubbies, all of those programs? They're still having a huge impact on our children and our grandchildren. So it's really your responsibility to step up and say, yes, I do believe in that. As a matter of fact, you know, if you called and became a member right now or renewed, you could say to your grandchild, you know, I helped pay for some of that programming so that you could see quality television. It's really about all of us working together to help them. So give us a call. We'd like to hear from you right now.
TV can be a child's window to the world. What will they see?
I don't know if you paid much attention to the last number in that last segment called Nobody's Child. Nobody's Child was originally performed by Hank Snow on the Grand Ole Opry. But Nobody's Child is a song from his childhood, and it's about a blind orphan. But many in the audience connected that song with Daniel's work with the orphans in Romania. And truly, they are nobody's child, except for people like Daniel O'Donnell. And I think that's one of the reasons that I admire the man so very, very much. Not only is he a fine gentleman, and I think a tremendous entertainer with a stage presence that very, very few people have. But he is a person of the very highest character. And that's the kind of person, number one, I like to have in the studio, and number two, I like to have on public television for you. This is the kind of person we bring into your home for you and your kids and your grandchildren. You know, I don't know, I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I've yet to come up, I think, with a really adequate way to try to present to you how important it is that you put your dollars, at least part of those dollars, towards supporting public television. We had a 3-hour meeting yesterday, and one of the points that came up was, we've got to keep this going, because if we lose it forever. We will never, ever, ever get public television back if we lose it. Do you understand that? If you say, oh, the government will pay for it. The government isn't paying for it now. Why would they pay for it in the future? Okay? This is yours. It belongs to you. And if you support it, it's going to be one of the good things in your life. Give us a call.
To cry, I'm nobody's child.
Here's an interesting and probably little-known fact. Did you know that if everyone out there who watched an hour or two a week, or whose children did, of public television, were to voluntarily maintain their membership at KCTS annually at the level that's right for them, you know there would be no need to have membership drives. But because that doesn't happen, there's still a need to have these membership drives. To talk to you and say, look, if you have been a member, if you have been supporting KCTS, but you kind of thought, well, maybe somebody else will be doing it now. I don't need to think about that. I'll just let the rest of the world support it for a while. You know, it doesn't work that way. It's important for everyone who really values this kind of programming, this kind of television, to continue to be part of it, to continue to support public television, KCTS, whether you live in Washington or anywhere in Canada. This is a good night to do that, to renew or to become a member if you have never done it before. So 1-800-443-1999.
I wanted to contribute and have a voice in terms of the programming, and I realized by pledging that I had an opportunity to voice my opinion in terms of what programs I like.
The knowledge and the information I was getting from the public TV programming, you know, kind of motivated me, kicked me into action.
I think it's valid that you rely on pledge drives. It's not that different from other services where you pay as you go. You know, you use utilities, you use gas, whatever, and you buy the things as you go.
For me, it's a daily thing. I get more than
than I would get out of a magazine or a newspaper.
I just feel I have to pay for what I'm using, and it's such a small amount when you break it up.
She wanted to touch her microphone. I just realized, it is up to us, and if I didn't pledge anything, that this might go away, and I didn't want it to.
I always say they save the last till best in concerts. I don't know if that's true here, but I really think it is. He starts out the last set of the concert with My Donegal Shore. You may not have heard that before because he's never done it on a television performance for PBS before, but it's his very first recording, and it went to the charts in the United Kingdom, and like I say, he never looked back. That is dedicated to his cousin Sheila and her husband and the friends that are in the studio, in the audience for this concert. Then the second to the last song is When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, one of my mother's favorite songs, and it's dedicated to his mother, who I believe is celebrating her 85th or 86th birthday, and doing very, very well. Thank you. This is a nice segment, and if you like Daniel O'Donnell, you are going to love this segment. Stay with us.
I love you because